I clear my throat as I step up to the podium. Ahead of me, the entire student body was packed together on the bleachers, all staring up at me with nervous eyes that looked as uncomfortable as I felt. "Hi there, good morning," I say into the microphone. "My name is Tori Brown-Grabiner. I was a student here last year. I am married to Professor Grabiner, who taught here for over a decade, although he left to take up his seat as Viscount in England. Potsdam clears her throat, and I quickly look down to the next line of my statement. Anyway, I have been asked to speak to you all today because I was expelled at the end of last summer, along with another student, Ellen Middleton. Last year, we found out that an expelled student had managed to infuse her memories with technology, allowing her to live on as a spirit on this campus. We tried to help her get to the other world, which was a severe violation of Iris Academy's policies and put the whole student body at risk. Fortunately, Professor Potsdam was there to intervene. Ellen had taken pictures of magic with a camera and had them developed at the mall, which is what led to her expulsion from the magical community, as her actions could have led to the discovery of the magical community amongst those who reside in the low world. As Lady Brown-Grabiner, Viscountess of the Shade of Shetlock, I was sent to be rehabilitated to make sure I learned the severity of my actions. I now want to take a moment to apologize to you, the student body, for my actions. I did not realize opening a portal to the other world on campus grounds could put other students at risk. I also apologize to Professor Potsdam and the other teachers and administrators of the faculty that had to intervene. I have learned my lesson, and I am deeply appreciative to Professor Potsdam, who has graciously allowed me to finish my final year at Iris Academy. I pause. And to Manuel, who I hear has done an amazing job of taking over my post as treasurer. Congratulations, Manuel. "Yeah, go Manuel!" Virginia shouts as she bursts into a loud fit of applause. It's slowly picked up by a few others before it becomes a full assembly of applause, and Potsdam quickly ushers me off of the stage. "Now, Tori, dear, thank you for your honesty. I know that couldn't have been easy for you to say, but your apology is duly noted. Now then, I hope you all can learn a lesson from Tori's story. Ellen was not given a second chance, and you will not be given one either. We are very lucky that Tori has come back to join us, and even luckier that she will be spending every Saturday for the rest of the year in the library, helping to tutor bright and eager young minds. All right, my agile flock, go on and spread your wings. Enjoy the rest of your day." I immediately head out into the quad, waiting for Virginia to join me. Becky, Donald, Minnie, and Jacob aren't far behind. "So that's why Potsdam was banging on our door at 4 a.m., Virginia asks, "to make you give a speech to the entire student body to explain why you're back?" "Yep," I say as I turn to Minnie. "Looks like you have a new study buddy on Saturday." Minnie tries to force a smile, but she can't. "All that stuff you said isn't true. Did Potsdam make you say that?" "The truth was deemed too unsavory for their precious little ears," I say, mimicking Potsdam's tone. "I just can't believe I told Hieronymous that I wouldn't draw attention to myself, and then the very next day, Potsdam has me up in front of the entire student body." "Do you think he's going to be mad at you?" Jacob asks, but I just shake my head. "Mad at Potsdam, I bet," I reply. "I thought after our meeting in her office that I would leave her alone and she would leave me alone and we wouldn't talk until graduation. Instead, she does this, and I wouldn't be surprised if she had more surprises planned for me." "You know, it's not too late to go back to Miss Minchin's," Virginia teases. "Oh, please don't," Becky speaks up from beside us. "I'm still getting used to seeing her in an Iris Academy uniform. It's like two different worlds had collided, and I couldn't tell which was more anachronous." "Miss Minchin is dreadful, miss. She wouldn't lift a finger to help someone struggling right in front of her, she wouldn't." I want to mention that Potsdam probably wouldn't either, but then again, Potsdam was Becky's mother. Even if we clearly didn't get along, it wouldn't be appropriate for me to spoil her relationship with her new mother just because we didn't get along. Not going to lie, I am glad to be away from Miss Minchin. I agree. And I'm glad I have the opportunity to go to sports club again. I can't tell you how much I missed wearing pants, or even just my robes for that matter. I will miss horseback riding and how temperate London was compared to how cold it can get here. But you guys are here, and magic classes are here, and I'm about to say Hieronymous before I quickly stop myself. How is it living in the dorms again? Minnie asks. It's fine, I say with a shrug. I spent last night with Hieronymous in a hotel, so I haven't experienced it yet, but hopefully it won't be too bad. Are the showers still clean at least? Everything's pretty much the same as you remember it, Virginia replies with a shrug. Someone dropped a glitter bomb in the showers during freshman initiation week. Just be glad that you weren't there for that. I can't help but laugh. I actually am sort of grateful that I missed out on that, to be honest. I never liked the idea of initiation anyway. The Apple Festival? Yes, but not that. At least we can still go apple picking together in the fall, Virginia reminds me. Maybe you can get Grabby to join us, although I can't imagine him trying to climb a tree. I can picture Hieronymus's boyish smile, his hair tumbling behind him as he jumped up and deftly moved from branch to branch as he plucked an apple and tossed it down to me. I can picture his triumphant smirk, and as I do, I'm suddenly aware of the way they're all staring at me. Tori, you're blushing, Virginia tells me. Are you completely incapable of talking about your husband without blushing? I try to think of something to say, only to realize that it makes me blush harder. I think it's cute, Minnie pipes up. It was really nice of him to invite us over for Thanksgiving, especially considering he had to get Potsdam's permission to allow us into the other world for a night. I honestly didn't think she would allow it. I mean, Ravine Cottage is one of the safest places you can go, I remind her. Aloysius has put so many wards on the place that it's practically Fort Knox. No one can get in or out without us knowing about it. Virginia makes a face as she shakes her head. Ugh, you don't have to interact with him too much, do you? I pause for a moment, thinking it over. I don't see him often, but we had a long talk just before Thanksgiving break, and he explained to me why he treated me the way he did. I wouldn't say we're friends, but I do understand him a bit better, and we're on better terms now, at least. Virginia just shakes her head. I can't believe you'd forgive the man who kidnapped and tortured you. I wouldn't go that far, I say quietly. He did explain to me a lot of the Grabiner family history. I turned suddenly to Jacob. You were right, by the way. Very Shakespearean. I know part of it should scare me away, but honestly, I can't help but think about how far Hieronymus has fallen from the family tree. He would never treat me the way some of these lords have treated their wives, and I know that he would never try to drown his own child in a bathtub. I still can't imagine you having kids with Grabby, Virginia says as she makes a face. I wonder if they'll have blue hair. I roll my eyes, but I can't help but admit that she had a point. It'll be interesting, I admit. I have strong blonde-haired, blue-eyed genes. Hieronymus has dark hair and red-brown eyes. Who knows what our kids might look like? Well, no matter what color hair they have, at least you can be sure they'll have a big nose, Donald teases, and I can't help but stick my tongue out at him. Have you discussed it? Minnie asks as she turns to me. We already know that his father wants an heir now that Hieronymus is officially 17th Viscount Montague, but what do you and Hieronymus think? We have our whole future life mapped out, I say with a grin. As soon as I graduate, we're going to travel the world together, and I'm going to be the perfect socialite and help him get familiar with his job. Then, after a few years, we'll have 3 kids. 2 boys, 1 girl. Maybe more, although Hieronymus says we can stop at the 1 if it's too much to handle. I think we both want a big family, though. The rest of them stare at me, and I can't help but shrug uncomfortably. What? Nothing, Virginia says quickly. We're happy as long as you're happy. You don't seem like Tori, Donald says, and the rest nod awkwardly. I don't? I ask. How don't I? Well, last year you had no idea what you wanted to do with your life, Virginia continues, and now you seem sure that you're going to have this whole big romantic future with Grabby with a castle and kids. I just shrug. I think it goes without saying that I screwed up really, really badly last year. If Potsdam really did decide to expel me, it would have been Hieronymous who had to pay the price for how completely stupid I was, and I don't want to do that to him again. And I know the saying is that distance makes the heart grow fonder, but I did honestly miss Hieronymous a lot while I was in London. I started taking him for granted last year, that we would just always be together and work things out, but after what happened with Ellen, I realized that second chances are not guaranteed. Now that we're together, I think I would do pretty much anything not to lose him. If it helps, I think he feels the same way, Virginia teases. I mean, he came all the way over to the girls' dorms to make sure you were settled in. He got a hotel room to spend an extra night with you. Plus, he agreed to eat dinner with us at Thanksgiving, Jacob adds. I never would have thought that Professor Grabiner would acquiesce to a social gathering, but he didn't even pull away when you kissed him in front of us. He's always had a soft spot for Tori, Minnie says brightly. It's obvious how much you two care about each other. Fingers crossed this year goes well, and then, in a few months, you can be back together again. One can only hope, I say as I smile back at them. Honestly, I can't help but beam. It was obvious to anyone paying attention how I felt about Hieronymous, but other people were able to see just how strong our relationship was by the way that we interacted with each other. If my friends could see it, then hopefully other people would as well. So, what about that study session? I say as I turn back to Minnie. Let's go to the library. I have a ton of catching up to do.